You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the Shaw Report, and I am your host, Damian Banks. Shaw Bears alum and fans rejoice. This is your very own podcast hosted by moi, Damian S. Banks. This is the official podcast of your Shaw University Athletics, the Shaw Report, where week in, week out, I recap and run down everything that's going on within the athletic department at your Shaw University. And oh boy, it is great to be a Bear. Thank you for joining us week in, week out, Monday on shawbears.com. You can also go to shawbears.com for any scheduling for any of the athletic events, rosters, coaches, any information pertaining to Shaw University Athletics is on shawbears.com. Again, I told you, Monday, you can find the podcast. You know what time it is. You know how I do. It's 2020, but you still can't act brand new. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. We back in the building for another week of the Shaw Report. It's that time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, basketball season. We have women's and men's basketball action from this past week. Each team was in action this past week. Women had 2 games. The men had 3 games. We're going to talk about that on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard. We also have some other sports, some spring sports in action this past week. Bowling, a CIAA event number 2 this past weekend. We'll talk about that on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard. We don't have an interview for this week's edition of the Shaw Report, so it's going to be a short show, but we're going to give it to you raw. We're going to give it to you uncut. We're going to give it to you the best way that we know how. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. Again, basketball season, you know, is popping 10. Basketball season right now is real litty, as the kids would say. We'll talk about that on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard. Got some spring sporting events coming up in the near future. February the 8th, softball will be starting their season. New head coach Nadia Jeffries and the softball squad, they will be in South Carolina to take on Florence Darlington Tech Community College. Again, that is February the 8th. For more information on softball, visit shawbears.com. Also in February, men's, women's tennis, they have a match, their initial match of the season, February the 10th at North Carolina Wesleyan. The women are the defending CIAA champs, so head coach Sunday Initan and his 2 squads will be kicking off their season next month in February. Again, February the 10th at North Carolina Wesleyan. For more information on women's and men's tennis, visit shawbears.com. Also, track and field, they're starting in March. They're going to be participating in the Braves Classic. Head coach Franz Kwame Smith and his squad, again, March the 6th in the Braves Classic. For more information on track and field, head to shawbears.com. All right, we're just getting started on this week's edition of the Shaw Report, but I got to take a commercial break. Got to pay some bills. Don't go anywhere. If you do, come right back. You're listening to the Shaw Report on shawbears.com.
Surround yourself with opportunity at Shaw University in the heart of downtown Raleigh. Define your path to success through undergraduate, accelerated adult degree, teacher certification, and graduate programs. Your future begins today at Shaw University.
This is the Shaw Report with Damian Banks. I love you.
And I love you back. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Shaw Report. Again, I am your host, Damian Banks. You know what time it is. You know how I do. It's 2020, but you still can't act brand new. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. And we thank you kindly for all the support. Every Monday, find the podcast on shawbears.com. Also on shawbears.com, check out on demand any sporting event that you may have missed in person on shawbears.com on the Shaw Bears Sports Network. Just go to shawbears.com, click on the Shaw Bears Sports Network banner, go to On Demand. You can watch old basketball games, football games from this past season, volleyball matches, whatever your heart desires. It's on the Shaw Bears Sports Network, only on shawbears.com. Spring semester sports, softball, and new head coach Nadia Jeffries, they're going to be starting their season February the 8th at Florence Darlington Technical Community College. Congratulations to head coach Nadia Jeffries. She's starting out her first season. Good luck to her and the softball program. Also in February, on February the 10th, men's women's tennis, head coach Sunday Inatan at North Carolina Wesleyan. Support the men's and women's tennis programs only on shawbears.com. And in March, Track and Field, head coach Franz Kwame Smith starting their season March the 6th, participating in the Braves Classic. So spring semester sports right around the corner. Go out and support the spring semester sports. If you can't, then you can find it on shawbears.com. Next up, we're going to talk about women's, men's basketball, and the bowling results. But first, let's pause for a sponsor break. Today's podcast is brought to you by Summit Hospitality. Summit Hospitality is a proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics. With 6 Marriott-branded hotels in the Raleigh area, Summit Hospitality can manage all of your lodging needs. Make your reservations for your family or a group by calling 919-669-0576 and let them know that Shaw University Athletics sent you. That's Summit Hospitality, 919-669-0576.
You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to Summit Hospitality, one of the proud sponsors of Shaw University Athletics. We appreciate all of the sponsors for Shaw University Athletics, Chick-fil-A of Garner, Summit Hospitality, the Shaw Bears Booster Club. We appreciate everything that all of the sponsors do for Shaw University Athletics. But I digress. We're going to talk about women's and men's basketball and a little bowling action right now on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard. Women's basketball, who had a game on Monday, MLK Day. Myself and Donald Ware were on the call on the Shaw Bears Sports Network as the Bears welcomed Virginia Union to C.C. Spalding Gymnasium. The Lady Bears got off to a cold start, trailing 21-8 after the first quarter, fought their way back into this one, trailing 34-39 at the halftime break. Virginia Union would pull away in the fourth quarter and ultimately knocking off Shaw by the 91-65 score. In the loss, Dominique Kennedy led the Bears with 18 points and 5 rebounds, followed by Sydney Callis, who had 13 points in the loss. DeJoria Howard chipped in with 12 points, and Tyra Sinclair had 10 points in the loss for Shaw. Immediately following the women's contest on Monday, the men were in action as they played host to Virginia Union as well. First half was a doozy in this one. As usual, the Bears would fight back in the second half, led by Grayson Kelly, who had a game-high 25 points, followed by senior Devon Kelsey, who had 24 points, but it wasn't enough as the Bears fell to Virginia Union by the 85-73 score. On Wednesday, the Bears were on the road taking on Bluefield State. The game was tied at 36 at halftime, but Bluefield State would pull away in the second to knock off Shaw by the 92-81 score. In the loss, Grayson Kelly led all scorers with 28 points, followed by Devon Kelsey with 22 in the loss for Shaw. Freshman Marvis Odia II chipped in with 14 points in the loss. On Saturday, both women and men's squads were back in action. Let's start with the ladies as they went right around the corner to take on Raleigh rival St. Augs. The Lady Bears trailed by as many as 24 points in the fourth quarter, but would make a furious rally. Ultimately, it wasn't enough as St. Augs knocked off Shaw by the 73-60 score. The Bears were led by Ariana Fleming, who had 19 points in the loss. With the loss, the Lady Bears dropped to 6-13 overall, 2-8 in CIAA play. Next up is a game tonight. Back in the box, C.C. Spalding Gymnasium, 6 p.m. as the Lady Bears host the Lady Rams of Winston-Salem State University. Following the ladies' contest on Saturday, the men were in action also at St. Augs. The game was close in the first half as St. Augs led 49-43 at the halftime break. In the second half, Shaw fought hard, led by Grayson Kelly, who finished with a game-high 28 points, followed by Devon Kelsey's 25 points. Alex Owens made his return to the Bears starting lineup and to the squad, scoring 19 points and grabbing 10 rebounds, but it wasn't enough as St. Aug's had 6 players in double figures, knocking off Shaw by the 105-94 score. With the loss, the Bears now fall to 4-16 overall, 1-9 in CIAA play. Next up tonight, inside the box, CC Spalding Gymnasium. Immediately following the ladies' game, the men are in action, hosting Winston-Salem State. For more information on both women's and men's basketball, visit shawbears.com. And lastly, we have bowling action. Head coach Joe Williams and the bowling squad participated in a CIAA event number 2 this past weekend in Virginia, and the team played well, finishing 3rd overall. Nakari Moore had a scoring average of 168.25, good for 6th overall in the entire competition. So congratulations to the bowling squad and Nakari Moore. Next up for the bowling squad is a match, the CIAA Roundup, February the 7th in Salisbury, North Carolina, hosted by Livingstone. For more information on bowling, visit shawbears.com. And that was our Shaw Bears Scoreboard. Yes, sir, big teams like Guan, like my island folk would say. In Shaw University athletics, men's, women's basketball, hanging in there, fighting tough, playing strong right now. Just got to come up with some wins if you're women's and men's basketball. Got spring semester sports kicking off in just a moment. Got softball starting in February, men's, women's tennis starting in February, track and field starting in March. You got bowling in the midst of their season. Joe Williams had a good showing with the bowling squad, finishing 3rd overall in that CIAA event number 2. Shouts out to Nakari Moore, finishing 6th overall. A lot of good things going on in Shaw University athletics. I would be remiss at the end of this show if I did not mention, I tried to make it through the whole show without mentioning it, because this is the Shaw Report. But, you know, when you're talking about sports, you got to mention greatness and the tragic loss of Kobe Bean Bryant and his daughter, Gigi Bryant, in a helicopter crash over the weekend. Our condolences are going out to Kobe's family, his friends, the other passengers on the helicopter. A lot of news reports coming out right now, not true, coming out with different figures. One thing that I take away from this is, you know, don't wait to be great. Be great every moment. Be great every second. Live every day like it's your last, because you never know, because one day it is going to be your last. So you just got to love those around you, block out all the negativity, and push forward. And to all those who are Kobe fans, you know, I know you guys are hurting right now. I was never the biggest Kobe Bryant fan. I really respected him, but I was never a big Kobe fan. You know, I got friends and family members who love Kobe. They called me and they told me that Kobe had passed. And, you know, I thought they were joking because, you know, I always had, you know, jokes for them about Kobe, and, you know, it all puts things into perspective. And I know that people, you know, lose family members and friends all the time that are not celebrities, that are not famous. But, you know, losing someone tragically is never an easy thing. So my takeaway is, man, tell those around you that you love them every time you see them and every time you talk to them. Don't wait to enjoy life, and don't wait to do the things in life that you want to do, and the things that you put your mind to, you can do. So with that being said, I'm going to get off my soapbox, man. We got to get out of here. Y'all know I got to end this thing right. So remember, never take no for an answer. And if the door is locked, dig a tunnel underneath the building and sneak your way in. This is the Shaw Report. I am Damian Banks. I got 2 words for you people. I'm gone. A heap sees, but a few knows. Only a few. So many have come before, but only a few can go. We invite you to our house. That's 109. Just make sure you wipe your feet at the door.